In my very scientific study, about 90% of businesses out there are still writing copy like it's 2018. Whether you know that's you or you're thinking, oh my gosh, is that me? Don't worry, I've got 6 strategies that are gonna help you stay ahead in 2025. Hit like if you've written any copy or messaging lately, whether it is a caption or a landing page or an email, and you've thought, is this even what the kids are still doing these days? I don't know. I don't want you to rely on outdated tactics, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Hello, Ashlyn is back. No, I was not ghosting you super intentionally per se. TLDR, 2024 was a year. New baby in our family, new state, new house, new school. Husband got a new job, which requires him to travel for work and be gone, so I solo parent sometimes. My mom was in the hospital. I talked about that a little bit. I needed a minute, y'all. I needed a minute to step and think and pray and consider. And about midway to even 3/4 of the way through the year, I was just full on thinking, I'll let go of this if I need to. I thought about maybe, I don't know, maybe this has come to an end. I don't know. And took a lot of wrestling and praying and thinking, and I realized, no, I've still got a lot to say. So then for the rest of the year, I burrowed down and I have worked on evergreening all of our offers. I dug deep into figuring out positioning for our flywheel of core offers. It is very difficult for me. I've talked about this before with my membership and in masterminds. I always have a very difficult time being the product developer, like the deep thinker of the business, and also like the tap dancer, the marketer. Doing those simultaneously is like, that is one of the biggest challenges for me in business. So I burrowed and I'm here to report back. So if you likewise want to write for today's market and write copy with confidence, stick around. This one's for you. I'm going to be unpacking what I learned. The rise of real products, provable products is here. Thank the Lord, nature is healing. If you're not showing up authentically, you're dead. And cancel culture, or this ability to get by without really having a true opinion on anything, is melting quickly, which is a good thing. More of that in a minute, specifically on number 6 in this video, but I did an episode at the beginning of 2024 where I talked about copywriting and digital marketing trends that I'm seeing, and guess what? A lot of me in this video wanted to say more of that. The things that I said have just come true all the more. So go watch that one. This video, I'm gonna unpack a few different other concepts. Okay, first up, what I want you to think about and let sink into your brain is that eyeball monkey bars are paramount. That is a very fancy Ashlanized way to say it, right, for the skimmer. You have got to be speaking directly to the skimmer, the person who is reading their phone while they're juggling 16 other tasks. I audit a lot of work inside our membership, the Copybar Collective. We have an audit thread that opens the last week of every month. People dump their work, and so I get to look and see what people are writing out there. This is one of the top edits that I make, so I'm including it first in this video, but you've got to write for this skimmer. Since they're skimming, your job is to make it easy for their eyeballs to swing from one monkey bar to the other as they work through your copy. I don't know a lot about speed reading. I've studied it very lightly, but in my pea brain, what I understand is that there's a concept of what's a synapse, I think I'm saying that right, where you're snapshotting with your eyeballs how much, or a certain grouping of words at a specific time, and your brain basically takes a snapshot of that. That's what people are, even if they're not trained on speed reading, that's what they're doing when they're reading your copy. Their eyeball is taking a little snapshot and their brain digests it and they're moving on. I've said this for years, but no one's reading all the words of your copy or your captions or your emails, except maybe your mom, and probably not even her sometimes. So you've got to help chunk someone through the messaging. The Nielsen Norman Group, they are just a stalwart when it comes to research on stuff like this. They've said about 73% of internet readers are saying outright that they need bullets, they need scannable subheadlines, headlines. Again, some of you have heard me say this for years and you've been doing it. Keep it up all the more. Here's 3 little edits with your copy you can make. 1, break up your text. See that return bar on your computer? Hit it, whack it often. You can also help break up your text with emojis, or I call them bullet brigades, numerals, bolding text. I have loved in Kit that we use for our email marketing this highlight feature, so you can kind of showcase and help pertinent statements stand out in your copy. 13-word sentences. I try to write 80 to 90% of my copy in 13-word sentences. When I'm done, I'll throw it into ChatGPT and say, what percentage of this copy is written in 13 words or less? When I'm done writing something, that's one way I'll use ChatGPT, is throw the copy back in and say, I want about 80% of all of this to be written in 13-word sentences. Can you show me where that's not happening? And tip number 3, hooks are everything. Spend the majority of time crafting your hook, crafting your headline, crafting the top page copy. Even a YouTuber that I was listening to recently, he said spend 10 to 15 minutes of your entire script writing process on the hook. I say that about copy. Let me belly up though and show you the proof of this. People do still read long copy. They still do. In 2025, they don't read boring copy, and they don't read copy that they can't get through or sort through. An example of this, our Copywriting for Creatives sales page hit an all-time new word count in 2024. Unsure if I'm proud of that or not, but it was 9,609 words if I remember correctly. But converted the highest it ever has. Converted at 8.8%. Industry standard is 3 to 5%. This is what I do for a living, so I need to make sure that I beat the benchmark if I'm going to stake my livelihood on beating benchmarks as a conversion copywriter as my job. But that just was proof in the pudding that you can write weighty, big, long pieces of copy, but it's all about how people get through it. And a big way you can do that is with making it eyeball monkey bar. By the way, if you want to see these principles in action and you want 3 hooks every single week that are working on the internet right now, subscribe to the Copy Bank Club. It is the most absurdly easy ROI ready copy template subscription on the internet. For $20 a month, you're going to get every single week on a Monday an email template, 3 hooks, and an AI prompt. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about with hooks here. You can check out Copy Bank Club. I'll put the QR code here and the link is down below. Okay, number 2, this is the copywriting trend that I'm gonna call take the every girl or every guy approach. Go ahead and show yourself, talk about your ideas. As it turns out, people are still nosy. Psychologically, we want to know. I was recently talking to our agency client, Shannon McKinstry. I think she is an Instagram savant. She's so wise when it comes to social media and watching trends and unpacking them in her brain in real time. And I loved what she had to say about 2020 versus 2025. So she was talking about, remember when the pandemic started, and even I would say into 2021, we just had more time. The world was a little slowed down. We were able to watch the 8-step sourdough video. We were able to read up on different things and just explore a little bit more and see all of the long how-tos. It's not that we're dumber or lazier now, we're busier. But people still want the information, but the way to catch their eye now is to present it through the lens of what you're doing. There's more people on the internet, there's more brands on the internet, there's far more small businesses. Just go look at small business trends. There's been a lot more applications year after year after year. It grows. The audience doesn't just want to know the process. They want to know how you are executing the process. If they just want the 45 subject line headlines, they can ask AI. If they just want, they can ask Google. They can find out from some random person. It's the rise of the EveryGirl influencer. This concept that real life examples are gonna beat polished theories every single time. We're done. We're smarter buyers. We don't want to hear the fluff. We want to know how are you executing that and how's that going for you? So if you struggle to think about yourself as an expert, I see this with my audience sometimes. Think about it more from the lens of, hey, I'm sharing this. It's working for me, like how you'd share in a group chat. I found this idea super helpful. I hope you do too. And what if you reframed the takeaway from your copy or any of your messaging so someone could think, that is so cool. It worked for her. I wonder if it could work for me too. This pays into the idea, classic in marketing. It's hard to get people to pay attention to you if you're not paying attention to them. So this does involve what it should. Like I said at the beginning, nature is healing. You have to get obsessed with solving a problem for your people and really trying to figure out how to get them exactly what they want. So how will you see this play out in copywriting and messaging tactics? I heard some gurus say that pain point marketing is dead. People don't want to be talked to about their pain points anymore. And I don't think that's true. Like, we haven't completely made the jump to aspirational marketing only, though that does work. I think this is the key. This is the differentiation point. They want to see your behind the scenes struggles. They want to see the quirks that maybe you have had or your clients have had. It's not that they don't want any pain associated with it, or they want the polish to be a little bit disseminated. They don't want generic copy. They want reporting from the front lines. They can get generic reporting any old day when they crack open ChatGPT. Think about with my videos, you could get this information, you could get any of the information in any of my videos from somewhere else, but I try at least to show you fully like what my vantage point on it is, how I'm seeing it play out, how I'm using it. And so That's the kind of messaging that I'm talking about is going to resonate more in 2025. Next up, everything but the kitchen sink messaging is not going to work anymore. It's on the decline. Think about this as business in a box courses. They used to work, they used to sell, but not so much anymore. You have to have a specific offer that solves a specific acute problem, and you have to communicate that. So if your Black Friday, your holiday promo did not go like you thought it was going to, this could be one of the reasons why. You have to solve an acute, real need, a real problem, not a made up problem. So I'll slot in here with this, and I love to talk about offer creation with our clients and with our members, but there's something to be said for the offer may just not work. If you have an offer and it's not working and you're pretty sure you got the strategy behind all of the messaging right, then have a read the room moment and maybe is it actually a product that's in demand or an offer that's in demand? But if people do want the thing that you built, you know it, it's provable, and you're struggling, then this is a point that it might come back to. It might be off in the messaging, in the USP, in the communication of the value. And these cookie cutter, fix it all, band-aid on everything, messaging and products, those are gonna die. Think about yourself and how you buy. I like personalized, tailored solutions. Algorithms, oh my gosh, look at how dialed in those are. Look at the ads that come across your feed. They are like the things that came out of your mouth 30 minutes before. So here's how to stand out and to continue to do that in your messaging. The first, general population marketing is just not gonna work for a lot of people. Keep getting niche, keep narrowing in your focus. I come back year after year, almost the better half of a decade at this point, to that 1,000 True Fans article. You can have a dang good business with 1,000 true fans, and all you need to find is 1,000 people that believe in what you're doing. Talk to them. Number two, solve real problems. And a lot of you solve a real problem, but you're not communicating that. Don't be afraid to speak to acutely what people want. Don't be afraid to solve one need. Your bonuses and other value that you're putting into the offer can help solve tertiary, secondary needs, but the point of the offer and its packaging and everything needs to solve an acute, real problem. I've said that too many times in this video already. People want personalized, real solutions, not watered down, generic copy. There's too much out there these days. Okay, next up, AI is a kit staple, and if it is not, I have questions. At least if you are working in laptop economy land and you don't use AI daily, I have questions. True story. If I had to pick between Netflix and ChatGPT, I would pick ChatGPT at these points. I don't know if I could have said that a year ago, and I would estimate that by the end of this year, you will be saying that as well. AI has become indispensable for entrepreneurs, copywriters, content creators, and anyone that is looking on maximizing their time without burning out. Oh, look, that's me. And I will say I've got some spicy opinions about AI. I've been using AI tools in writing for probably about 2.5 years now. And I stand by, I don't use AI to write entire emails or write entire pages over my dead body. But that stuff has to come from bubbling up inside me. As a creator, it's just always going to be that way. I also think that's the human print that I can have that a machine will never be able to have. However, refining, sharpening, research, ideation, when I get stuck on something, there's a myriad of different ways that I use AI. Just look at some of these recent prompts we've sent out to our members, our subscribers of Copy Bank Club. AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting on different projects that when you're a small business, it's immensely helpful to have. Okay, next up for copywriting trends, the gig is up on offers that don't work. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove your offer. If I had a dime for every time that I've heard courses are dead, webinars are dead, PDFs are dead, blah, 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 I don't know what I would buy, but I would buy something fancy. And I understand it. If you've been in the game for a little bit, you've seen people selling their business, people leaving the space. It feels a little apocalyptic at times, and sometimes people are outright saying, this model doesn't work anymore, that model doesn't work anymore. Heck, I'm even saying a little bit of that in this video. But here's what I told a member recently inside the Copybar Collective who asked, Ashlyn, what do you think in 2025 is going to be what people like to buy and purchase? And I said, as far as a vehicle, I stand by that as long as you are giving this amount of value and you're charging this, people will always buy to have their problem solved. Whether you want to package that in a one-on-one service, in a microservice, in a course, in a mastermind, the offer container, I just truly right now, I don't think it matters as much as acute problem solving and offers that actually work, proven track record results. One of the things I remember setting going into 2024, and I want to bring it into 2025, is this idea that if my mission isn't bigger than my fear, I need to find a better mission. Whatever you're doing has to work. The buyer these days is savvy. They are smart. They know how to price shop. They know how to comparison shop. They know how to look at reviews. They know how to spot bad reviews. They know how to spot fake reviews. Think about Sephora, for example, when you're looking on their website and you're thinking like, did a human really say this? Like, we are a bit savvier. We really want to see if something worked. We also saw it with how the FTC went after a few names out there. Like, you can't just make up stuff. Case studies, testimonials. Don't be afraid to show behind the scenes. Like, go Wizard of Oz, like show behind the curtain in what you're doing and do that. They don't know how smart you are. They don't know what you do unless you tell them. That was one of the big changes that we made in all of our core sales pages this year and on our rebrand of my own website. I've shown more proof than I ever have before. And I do this. It felt a little bit uncomfortable for me to put out all that we did. So I get it that you feel like you're being braggadocious, but we want the receipts. Okay, the last trend, again, I talked about this in last year's video and it's just ramped up, baby, but speak like a normal person. Transparency is key. I've said this before as speak internet. Talk like a real person. Case study. Do you remember seeing Jaguar's rebrand that they did? It was a little bit word salady. It was a little bit pie in the sky and it kind of flopped. People like clear, direct messaging. They do not like word salads. The people have spoken, they do not like word salads. So make sure that you are having an opinion and don't be afraid to. I hope that that's something that we can take from 2025 is a lot of you're an expert in your field, you're an expert in your industry. You do your craft every single day. You have a formulated, developed opinion on it, but still when it comes to the thing that you do every day, you may be afraid to say, this is what I think about graphic design or floral design. It's okay that some calligrapher thinks completely different from you, or some photographer or content creator thinks completely different from you, and may even have receipts that work their way. You have what works your way, and you have a proven path, and so go ahead and talk about it. It's okay. We talk about this with our students inside Copywriting for Creatives. If you have my homepage template, you know, right up front, I'm going to tell you, have a tough love toast. Have an opinion. It is okay to have an opinion. In fact, we trust people more when they do. So don't be afraid to say what you think about your craft that you do all of the time. There's enough people out there that somebody's going to disagree with you, but people will agree with you as well. All right, there's your takeaway. The world of copywriting is changing a little bit. Human psychology has not changed that much though. The old great copywriting maxims that have always proven true are going to be steadfast. It's the execution of those that are changing a little bit. If you want to stay relevant in 2025, keep writing for the skimmer, show up authentically, ditch cookie cutter offers for sure, but if you're messaging them, you're packaging them in a cookie cutter way, lean on AI to streamline your processes. If nothing else, get better at refining and editing. And above all, prove what you're doing with real results. Belly up with that guarantee, belly up with trust seals. We want to be able to believe what you say. All right, if you're ready to hop into these strategies and also implement them, hop into the Copy Bank Club subscription. Like I said, $20 a month. I have members in there that are saying they're churning out their weekly email content in about 30 minutes a week. I'm writing these templates from every vantage point that I just laid out for you. And if you want some more AI tips to supercharge your copy, I've got a full playlist on how to use AI in your business. Check it out right there. Let's keep the conversation going. And as always, here's working from a place of more rest, less hustle. See you in the next one.